Despite Nen being a rock-paper-scissors system where anyone can beat anyone under the right circumstances, there is one character that turns the system into a mere power struggle, and luckily for him, he's the strongest around. But can he survive against the strongest abilities Nen has to offer? Hey guys, it's Ryugo here, and today I'm going to put the Ant King Meruem to the test by having him being targeted by a lot of insta-kill Nen abilities and analyze to see if realistically he would be defeated by the wackiest abilities that Nen has to offer. The reason I'm doing this is that despite the battles of Hunter x Hunter being based around information gathering and countering abilities, meaning that even Gantru can defeat Krollo in the right days, there is still one character that is beyond almost anyone else, and strangely enough, is not the guy named Beyond, but the Ant King Meruem, because the Ant King has so much ridiculous amounts of aura that there could be a genuine question if he would still fall on the usual boundaries of Nen. So today I gathered 5 Nen abilities that would be an insta-kill against almost anyone else, to see if our king will fall or prevail. The first ability is not an ability, but a group of abilities. I'm referring to manipulation in general. So, assuming that the conditions have been met, could the Ant King be manipulated? I start with manipulation to make an example, because manipulation is straight up broken. Once your conditions have been met, then, for example, Shalnark would be by all means able to take control of the king. After all he needs to do is hit him with his antenna, so we now have Shalnark with the most powerful creature to ever exist. But would he really? There is a misconception that once your conditions have been met, then manipulators just insta-win, especially with an ability such as Black Voice that is basically an insta-kill. However, there is still one aspect that most people don't realize, and that is, the rules of manipulation being considered insta-kills are seen from a human-to-human perspective, and Meruem is far stronger than the strongest human. And so, I don't think Shalnark or any manipulator would have enough aura to even be considered to be able to take control of the Ant King. There is a reason why manipulators go to such lengths just to take control of their targets. The aura being imputed is important. Otherwise, almost every manipulator would have a mixture of Black Voice and Illumin's Needle People. So again, even if any manipulator would try to take control of the king, and assuming that all his conditions have been met, I don't see a world where the Ant King could ever be manipulated. But I'm curious to know what you think. Could the king be manipulated? Let me know in the comments below. But the thing is, all of these abilities are meant to be used against anyone. But what if an ability was designed to be used against only the king? So now please take a minute to imagine a scenario where rather than hunting spiders, Kurapika would try to hunt ants. Would his chains work on the king? Especially his strongest chains, Judgment Chain and Chain Jail. So again, could the Chain Jail force Meruem into Zetsu, and could Chain Jail destroy Meruem's heart? Kurapika, after all, is one of the strongest humans around, with his Chain Jail. That for this video, we are going to assume that can only be used on the king rather than the spiders. So, would Kurapika chain down the king? No. This is because Chain Jail is based around manipulating its targets to be forced in a state of Zetsu, and as I said before, I don't see a world where a human could ever come close to manipulating the king, and Kurapika doesn't have enough aura to manipulate it. No human does, even if they are killing themselves with every second of their ability. But what if, rather than manipulating the king, he would manipulate the chain around his heart? So, would Judgment Chain work on the king? Yes. Because in this case, what is being manipulated is not the king, but the chain itself, with the king's actions being a condition. However, if the chain could be triggered, I can see the chain just breaking by trying to destroy Meruem's heart. Just like your heart would be destroyed if you don't subscribe. This is not a request, it's an order. And in return, you would get Hunter x Hunter content every week, and even another series that I might return, but that's for later. As for now, let's talk about a character that probably most people have already brought up by now. Nov's Hide and Seek. Could the boldest hunter defeat the king? Well, Hide and Seek's ability, Scream, is one of the most broken abilities in Hunter x Hunter, as it opens a completely separate space. And as such, most people argue that Scream would be able to do damage against the king. So, would it work? I can confidently say that Nov's ability is a straight up insta-kill against Meruem. This is because, and this is going to sound very parascaly, Nov's hide and seek, or Nov's scream, manipulates the space itself in which Meruem exists. So in other words, Meruem simply doesn't have the ability to counter a scream to the head. No matter how much Meruem tries to defend himself, he would still not be able to protect against space manipulation. So yeah, ironically enough, Nov could not only affect the king, but outright kill him. And now we move to from the anime to the manga, as we now analyze Camilla's ability, the cat who lived 1,000 lives. This one is interesting. If Meruem would kill Camilla, and he probably would, what would happen? I know a human Nan isn't strong enough to affect the king unless your name is Nov, but what about post-mortem Nan? Could the strongest condition defeat the king? Well, hear me out. In order to answer that question, I need to ask another question. What would happen if Camilla got kicked by someone weaker? Like a small animal, for example. Would the cat still resurrect her? Or rather, would the animal would not have enough life force to bring her back? Well, usually assuming that the animal would not have enough life force to bring her back, then would Meruem have too much? Assuming that the cat would be able to catch him in the first place, then I can honestly see it taking enough life force to bring Camilla back, and somehow Meruem still be kept alive, so we can just immobilize her. Honestly, even the Royal Guard probably has enough aura to bring Camilla back and still be alive. And of course, all of this is assuming that the cat would be able to catch Meruem in the first place. There is still one prince that could take down the king, and that of course is the 9th prince of the Kakin Empire, Hulkenberg Ro. This one is very interesting because Hulkenberg's arrow is one of the strongest attacks in the series, and it's outright called unblockable in a world that has seen Meruem. All of this is because the arrow is powered by not only Hulk's determination to die if he misses a shot, but by 13 people willing to die in every attack. So, would it work against the king? Yes, assuming that the arrow would hit, and honestly it would. Our prince is one of the best archers in the world after all. But if said that other abilities wouldn't work, why am I saying that this one would work? Like I said, the ability is powered by a group of people willing to die. In other words, imagine being hit with an attack powered by 13 Kurapikas, all putting their life on the line. And again, the arrow is especially targets the soul, and for its soul swap. And not even Meruem is aware of the soul. Mahito fans celebrate, so I don't think he would be able to defend himself, but I'll leave it up to you. Do you think Hulkenberg's arrow would work on the king? Let me know in the comments below. And this is how Meruem breaks Nan, a character so powerful that only a few abilities would actually work against him, and even fewer would actually hurt him. So we can safely conclude that the only ability that could for sure defeat Meruem is a conjuration ability known as the Tactical Node. But of course, there are some abilities I left behind. If this video does well, I might go back to this topic. But next week I'll be fixing a series very similar to Hunter x Hunter, so if you're interested in more Hunter x Hunter content, take a look at the playlist on screen. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.